Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, we have open forum tonight. Individuals may address the council about any item not contained on the regular agenda. A maximum of 10 minutes is allocated for the forum. If the full 10 minutes are not needed for the forum, we will continue with the agenda. If additional time is needed, we will continue the forum following other business on the agenda. The council will take no official action on the items discussed at the forum, with the exception of referral to staff or commission for future report. We do have one item, Michael Peterson. If you could step to the podium and give your name and address, please.
My concern is narrower. I believe we should all agree on due process and constitutional limits on government power. Specifically, I'm asking the council to review and strengthen the city's policies in 3 areas. First, limiting cooperation with federal immigration enforcement beyond what the law requires. Civil immigration enforcement is not the same as criminal law enforcement. I'm asking the city staff and law enforcement not to hold individuals, share information, or assist ICE unless there's a judicial warrant or clear legal obligation. This protects our residents' rights. Second, banning the use of city resources for civil immigration enforcement. City funds, personnel, vehicles, databases, and facilities should be used for local public safety and services, not to carry out federal civil enforcement actions. This is about local control and responsible use of taxpayer resources. Third, setting clear rules for ICE presence on city property. Federal agents should not have unrestricted access to non-public city spaces. Access should require a judge-signed warrant, be documented, and be limited to what the law allows. Clear rules create clarity for staff and accountability for everyone. These requests are not about obstructing federal law. They're about ensuring that constitutional standards, especially due process, are respected, and that our city does not participate in actions that exceed our legal role. I respectfully ask the council to review existing policies, seek guidance from the city attorney on what cooperation is legally required versus optional, and consider formal policies that reflect these principles. Thank you for your time and service to this community.
Thank you, Michael. Anyone up here, Chief? Did you want to say anything at a high level? No?
Yeah, I can. We don't actively, we're very careful not to put out public statements on what we will and won't do. We have very good cooperation with the feds up here, but we're not actively helping ICE or any type of federal immigration enforcement in Rogers. We haven't ever, and we don't plan on changing that practice. So we work very hard to build community trust and transparency, and we want to keep it that way. And if and when a time comes where we need to be more forthright and come out and say what we are and won't do, we will. But I think the residents of Rogers certainly understand the predicament we're in and have trusted us to make those right decisions, and we're going to continue to do that. Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Chief. All right, we have no presentations tonight, so we will move on to approve agenda. Council members may add items to the agenda for discussion purposes or staff direction only. The council will not normally take official action on items added to the agenda. Does anyone have anything to add? All right. Can I get a motion?
Move to approve the agenda as printed.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, that motion passes. We'll move on to consent. These items are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from consent and placed elsewhere on the agenda. I do want to pull 5.7. Anyone want to pull anything?
No.
Okay. Can I get a motion for the rest of it?
Move to approve the consent agenda as printed except for item 5.7.
All right.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that motion passes. I pulled 5.7. I just wanted to make, I guess, make a public statement that, this item is about authorizing Rockin' Rogers Day Parade and support services and authorizing the city to request from the county the permit to put the parade, in place like we have been. This is 25 years of the Rockin' Rogers Days, and just to show our public support. Because we're doing the Fletcher bypass and we have some traffic challenges, we just want to make sure we express public support for trying to make it work as much as we can. And just making sure that the staff is aware that we got to figure this out. And so we will work together to do the best we can. So that was my main point with that.
I would just thank you guys for what you do. The parade is a little bit of a highlight of the summer. It's always been fun, and I know how much work goes into that. And I think this year's a little bit challenging. The question, I think Dorn would say this too, with the nearby construction project, there's just an inherent risk about where the traffic is going to come and go. And I think just to be upfront and clear, there's a risk there. You can probably get a permit to do most anything, but the risk, they'll add conditions and risks. So just be aware of that. But that's just kind of clouding it this year. But again, thanks for what you guys do with the parade. That's awesome.
And thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
All right, with that, I'll make a motion to approve 5.7.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we have no public hearings. We'll move on to general business. 7.1 is to consider approval of items related to Edgewater Cove, a residential development.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Let me just presentation shared.